In this video, you will see the notes on the quiz review of complex numbers. We're going to have a quiz the following day, which will look just like these notes, but different numbers. So you want to make sure that you have these examples down so you are able to use this for reference when you're taking your quiz, because you're going to submit this and then I will send you your quiz. So make sure you have your heading. Please feel free to pause the video if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Please make sure you write the directions down. That part counts as part of your notes, so that way you have it. The directions, and feel free to pause. It says show all work needed. Write your answers in simplest A plus BI form. So there are 4 examples in this notes. There are only 3 questions in the quiz. So we're going to start with example 1. Can you write for 1A, find the sum of 9 plus 4i in parentheses and 7 minus 2i. So when you get your quiz, number 1's either going to be sum or difference. So we're going to do sum first. So to find the sum, all we do is just add. So what we can do when we're adding is we just bring all of these terms down and put a plus in the middle since we're just adding. So I'm going to bring down the 9 plus 4i, and I'm going to bring down the positive 7 minus the 2i. Now we combine like terms. So remember, A plus BI form means the real part goes first. The real is the numbers without letters. So 9 plus 7 is 16. If I add the imaginary parts, that's the terms with the I. 4i minus 2i is a positive 2i. So there's the answer to number 1. Example B. So remember, on the quiz, you will see one of these 2. Same question, but this time I put find the difference. So if you could write that down, pause the video if needed. Difference means we're going to subtract. So what we're going to do is this little minus is going to be distributed to both of these terms. So we're going to rewrite it like we did above. So 9 plus 4i. And now I'm changing the sign. So instead of a 7, it becomes minus 7 since I'm subtracting. Instead of minus 2i, it becomes plus 2i because I'm subtracting the negative 2i. Now we combine like terms. So I combined the non-imaginary parts first. So 9 minus 7 is 2. And I combine the imaginary. 4 plus 2 is 6. So we have plus 6i. So there's your answer for example B. So you will have one of those questions on your quiz, and there are going to be multiple quizzes. Moving on to the next question, number 2. And again, pause the video if you need to write these down, if you don't have enough time. Number 2 says find the product of these 2. So go ahead and pause if you need. Product means we are multiplying. So when we multiply, we are doing the boxes. So if you wanted to see it out first, this means we are doing 8 minus 3i times 7 plus 5i. And I'm going to go back to the beginning really quick just to bring this up. Sum means you're adding. Difference means you're subtracting. So we have a little plus here and a minus. If that helps, you can write that on as well. All right, so in here, in order to multiply, we're going to do the 2 by 2 boxes. So I'm going to have 2 down, 2 across. And each of these terms goes on the side and on the top. So 8 minus 3i, I'm going to put on the side. So 8 and then a minus 3i. Don't forget your negative. And then 7 plus 5i goes on the top. Don't forget your plus sign. Now we multiply. So 8 times 7 is 56. 8 times a positive 5i is plus 40i. Negative 3i times 7, excuse me, negative 21i. And negative 3i times positive 5i is negative 15i squared. If you remember from the last lesson, whenever we have an I squared, that is the same as multiplying by negative 1, which means this turns to a positive 15. So remember, when you have an I squared, all you're doing is dropping the I squared and changing the sign of that term. So now we're going to rewrite our terms in the boxes. So we have 56 plus 40i minus 21i and then plus 15. Notice there's no more i's in that last term. Now we're going to combine. So we combine the real parts. 56 plus 15 is 71. 40 minus 21 is a positive 19, so I have plus 19i. There's your simplified answer to number 2. Last question, Go ahead and take a second to write that down. And again, you're going to see all of these questions on your quiz. This question says, determine the result of the calculation. And then I gave you a bunch of terms. So go ahead and write this down if you need to. What we're going to do is, since we have two sets of parentheses here, we're going to multiply these, and then we're going to add our terms together. So we're going to do these separately. So I'm going to do the boxes over here for this one, and I'll do the boxes over here for that. So to multiply these, I have 2 by 2 boxes. I put my terms on the outside, so 6 plus an I on the side, and -8 minus 5i on the top. If I multiply, 6 times -8 is -48. 6 times -5i is -30i. I times -8 is -8i. And I times the -5i is -5i squared. But remember, when we have our I squared, it's like we drop that and change the sign. So this becomes a +5. So now if I rewrite my terms, I'm going to bring all of them down. So I have -48 minus 30i minus 8i plus 5. I can combine now, or I can wait till I do my other boxes, but I might as well combine. If I combine my real terms, -48 plus 5 is -43. If I combine my i's, -30i minus 8i is -38i. Now I go over here. I'm going to do the boxes for this. Notice this is a conjugate pair. We have 2 plus 3i and 2 minus 3i. A conjugate pair means same terms, but you have opposite signs in the middle. So I'm going to do my 2 by 2 boxes for this. And whenever we have a conjugate pair, our imaginary parts will cancel out, and you'll see that in a second. So I put 2 plus 3i on the side and 2 minus 3i on the top. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and multiply. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times -3i is -6i. 3i times 2 is a +6i. 3i times -3i is a -9i squared. But remember that I squared changes the sign. So I'm going to change this to a +9. Remember, we dropped the I squared because the I squared becomes a -1 that we're multiplying. Now I'm going to write out all my terms. So I have 4 minus 6i plus 6i plus 9. If I combine my real pieces, 4 plus 9 is 13. If I combine my imaginary, they cancel out. -6 plus 6 is 0, so they cancel. Now I'm ready for my answer. I'm going to combine all of these terms together. So we have -43 minus 38i plus 13. Remember that I have to write it in a plus bi form, so that means my real terms without the I go first. So -43 plus 13, that becomes -30. And I have nothing to combine the -38i with, so just -38i goes at the end. There's your final answer. Your quiz will look just like this, but different numbers, so please make sure to submit this in the correct page in Canvas. I will then send you the quiz in the comments section of this assignment, and then you'll submit it the next day in your quiz assignment page in Canvas.